I went to Patterson High School.
It's been more than 30 years
The old Patterson High School.
since she was a student.
Used to be right there. Where the construction is going on.
Now she's a mother who fears history
We're trying to transfer our daughter.
is about to repeat itself.
We're trying to transfer her out of Patterson.
Vonda Linda Biggis was born and raised in Baltimore by a single mother who had her at 15, the same age her daughter is now. Vonda Linda went to Patterson High School in the 80s, the same school her daughter now attends as a 9th grader. Do you feel like you got the education you needed?
No, I don't. All I just want is just my kid to be educated. This is really difficult for me.
Patterson High School is one of the largest high schools in Baltimore, but a recent Fox 45 News investigation found most of the students, according to one assessment, are far behind in math and reading.
These numbers are lying.
Project Baltimore obtained iReady scores from this source, a school teacher at Patterson, who we are not identifying because they fear retaliation. And leading the way is iReady. iReady is used to determine at which grade level a student is performing. And at Patterson High School, the numbers are devastating. In reading, 628 Patterson High School students took the test. Just 12 students tested were reading at grade level. 12. And when it...
Let that sink in. 628 students. That's a huge sample size. Huge sample size. If you took like 5 and 4 weren't reading at their grade level, you could say, well, listen, man, we need to do more data. There's no more data you need. There's no more study. You don't need any more. This is far more data to work with than even imaginable. Some studies, they might even just looked at 20 kids out of the school. Just from those 20 kids, just made an assumption about the entire school. This one, they looked at every single student in the school. So this is not trying to make you look bad. This ain't systematic racism. This is what it is. And this is reading. This isn't math. This is reading. And are you telling me that if it's 628 students in this high school, how many of them are sisters? About what? 300, 350 of them sisters? What's going on here in Baltimore, man? Huh? So even when there's bright spots here and there throughout the country, overall, the Sun community is doing horribly when it comes to educate. This is horrible, man. 12. And I'm not even trying to be funny. They're farm animals that you could train, or zoo animals that you could train. If you took 628 of them, you could get more than 12 of them to pass a reading test.
In reading, 628 Patterson High School students took the test. Just 12 students tested were reading at grade level. 12. And when it comes to math, the numbers are just as alarming. 575 high schoolers were tested, but just 17 of those students tested at algebra and geometry level math, courses required to graduate.
That's better than I thought, man, because in Baltimore, as we know, there's a bunch of schools where they don't have any students proficient in math. So this is one of this. Think about it. I think it's like 13 schools in Baltimore where there's no kids proficient in math. And this isn't one of them. This is one of the good schools.
How does a student who reads at an elementary school level get to high school?
They're pushing them.
Yeah, they're just pushing them through because they just pushed me through. It's just pushing them through. My heart is like, it just ached because I feel like our kids, they're being set up for failure.
Here's my thing. All right, they're being pushed through. So what is it, 600 kids in the school, whatever? Let's say they don't push them through, right? You got, what, 628, and you got 12 that... Say they didn't push those kids through. You'd have 616 kids staying back, repeating the grade. So you can't have it both ways, man. I'm sorry. The school cannot hold back 98% of the school cannot stay back. They have to push some of those kids through. Let's stop this. I remember being in school and somebody stayed back. I was like, you stayed back? It was shocking to learn that somebody stayed back. Yeah, man, I stayed back, man. Word? For real? So basically, she's asking them for 98% I did in the school. Yeah, man, I stayed back. I stayed back. They can't do that, man. They wouldn't have any kids for the next. They wouldn't have a senior class. They wouldn't have a junior. Then the kids coming in. How would you have the kids that are coming into the school? So the 8th graders, ascending to the 9th grade. They need classrooms. They need teachers. How are they going to have teachers if the whole 9th grade stayed back? It's not feasible, man. You got to push a lot of these kids through, man.
Vonda Linda never finished high school. She dropped out and struggled for years to support herself. It wasn't until she became an adult that she went back to school, learning the skills for a better job. Now, she worries her daughter will make the same choices that will send her down the same path.
I want to make sure that the same thing does not happen. I did a lot to rebuild my life.
Have you seen your daughter's iReady test results?
No.
I have them.
Okay.
Do you want to know them?
Yes.
Baltimore City Schools does not give parents the results of iReady assessments, but Project Baltimore has the scores for every student who took the assessment at Patterson High School. Your daughter's doing math and reading at a higher level. Mm-hmm. Is it a relief to hear that?
Yeah, it is.
I'm relieved too, Jack. Because if she only complaining like this, man, her daughter was doing bad, that will reflect on her. Why she ain't tutoring, why she ain't doing extra work. I'm relieved that her daughter's doing well. One of the 12 kids in the school that's doing well, or on average. So salute. Gotta give credit where credit's due. At least this woman's kid is doing well.
Your daughter's doing math and reading at a higher level. Mm-hmm. Is it a relief to hear that?
Yeah, it is. Somewhere along the line that I did my job. My daughter is beautiful. She's shy. She's smart. And I wish she just realized it.
As her iReady scores show, Vonda Linda's daughter was ready for high school when she entered Patterson. She had good grades in middle school, but something changed, and quickly.
By the time I got her report card, her grades had dropped tremendously.
She began to fall behind, acting out, getting into fights.
Getting into fights, that's part of son's... Listen, because the footage is so violent and it's involving kids, I don't really report on this. I mostly report on the shootings, school shootings, that happen like every day somewhere in the stand. But there's big brawls at these schools that make the news in the stand every day. I don't report on them because I don't want to report like kitty brawls every day. It's enough reporting on the shootings that I did for 2 week period. I focused on that. Do you guys remember? Hit one if you remember. For a 2 week period, I think it was last month or the month before, I focused on school shooting, and it was one every day. It's been one every day since then. I just don't focus on it. Just like it's similar to the mainstream media. You got hit one again. Hit 11. Better yet, hit 11. If you think that there ain't been no school shooting since I covered the last one last month. Yeah, that's the trick. It's been plenty of shootings in and around schools involving students, blocked from the school, on the school grounds, in the school. Been plenty of them in some communities. I just haven't covered them because I was just doing that for just to, that was just a wave I was riding just to show you guys something. But the fights, oh my God, it's constant fighting. If you can't fight, you can't go to a Sun school.
She began to fall behind, acting out, getting into fights with few consequences.
She was asked to write an essay on what she expected out of Patterson. And in this essay, my kid wrote that the teachers did not really care. The kids are basically doing what they want without anything happening.
This mother says the school is chaotic and her daughter's potential is at risk.
Because she don't understand, like, this is going to impact her future. Like, what you do now, it follows you. I don't want you to get stuck inside of a square. I want you to be somebody's baby mother. I want you to take and be the best that you can be at whatever it is that you choose to be. Because I'm not going to be with her forever. And I'm getting older, and she's just beginning. So what you do from this day forth, it follows you on into adulthood. That's if you make it.
Which is why she's here, correcting a mistake now.
I made a bad choice when I placed my daughter there.
And changing course, getting her daughter into a new school before it's too late.
Yeah, it's time to go. It's time to go.
I'm Chris Pabst, and this is Project Baltimore.